moments we forgot and never brought to mind.
Go on ahead, ma'am.
The acquaintance we forgot and Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my dear. For Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne.
Hello everybody, my name is Moon and welcome to the end of the year review and for the first time on this channel, the 2022 Star Stable Online End of the Year Awards. This will be the first time I will be doing this awards show, and for this I will be showcasing many different categories we'll be going over today as we go over a whole year of SSO before we say goodbye to 2022 and hello to 2023. This year has been once again another roller coaster from dealing with SSO's bullshit, and sometimes we experience the most beautiful things SSO has actually done that were good this year. So without further ado, let's get started. Yes, horses. The main thing that makes a horse game, and also SSO's main money-hungry tactic of making money. Horses this year have either improved a lot, or they still got a lot of work to do. After last year's mixed bag, this year definitely had a lot of good breeds, but still a mixture of pure shitty ones and alright horse breeds. So as usual, if you remember from my docu-series on SSO, you may remember I counted how many horses were released in each age period, and by horses, I mean every single variant of each breed, and then compare the numbers of the actual content updates and filler updates. And now that we're in a new period called the Crumbling Plague, of course we're going to be doing the same exact thing again. So this year in total we had 7 new horse breeds, but also we had app horses for those new breeds, and app horses for old breeds, and new variations of existing horse breeds or horse breeds that were released this year. And just for reference, last year's numbers were 79 single horses, 9 content updates, and 26 filler updates. Basically, as usual, the balance of horse updates, actual content updates, and filler updates are still out of whack ever since the Tyranny Age, where they started releasing a shit ton of horses in 2018 to 2019. This year, in total of single horses and horse reruns as well, because remember we did have reruns of magical horse breeds. SSO release about 92 fucking horses. 92. And compared to the content and filler, there was only 32 content updates and about 6 pure filler updates.
Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand.
At this point, y'all, we're gonna have over 100 horses next year at this rate. And honestly, that's just really fucking sad. The thing is, since horses are either worth it if they're beautifully animated, the model's good, or they don't act like a Gen 3 crackhead Frisian, it's why a lot of us want consistency when it comes to horses. So that segues into our first award of the night. What the fuck?
Child, you can't keep running from us. You know you've bought a Gen 3 Icelandic and a fucking unicorn without our presence. All you had to do was succumb to the circle. Ow! What the fuck?
Listen, I'm in the middle of running an awards show. So since you're so eager to just keep randomly popping up at the thought of buying horses, why don't you announce the first categories of the night since you want to be here so bad? I'm getting sick of this shit, I swear to God.
Well, this is awkward. Alright. Here are the nominees for the best new normal horse breed release in 2022. Gen 3 Appaloosa. The Gen 3 Welsh Ponies. The Gen 3 Pasafinos. The Gen 3 Halflingers. The Gen 3 Shires. The Gen 3 Belgian Warmbloods. And the Gen 3 Tennessee Walking Horses. And the winner for the best new horse breed release in 2022 is... the Gen 3 Shire. This horse has captured the most chunkiest of boys, along with the pure grace of a giant. According to the results of the voting poll from the Google form, 31% of our voters have voted for the Gen 3 Shire, with the Gen 3 Tennessee Walking Horse and Pasafinos tied for second, the Gen 3 Belgian Warmbloods in third, the Gen 3 Halflinger in fourth, Gen 3 Appaloosa in fifth, and the Welsh Ponies in last place. Okay, can I leave now?
Yes, you can.
Finally, my god.
And stop teleporting to my ass every time I mention horses, okay? Jesus Christ.
Okay, I teleport when you're about to buy horses, okay, goodbye.
Phew. Glad my favorite chunky boy breed in this game won shit. Now that that's out of the way, let's discuss how the making of horses has been treated in SSO this year. Ever since the failure of the Gen 3 Frisian, people in the community have to pray that SSO won't fuck up any new Gen 3 horse so it doesn't end up like the Gen 3 Frisian. The issues we've had this year with the horses have been the opera mouth of the Belgian Warmblood, the tail debate on the Pasafinos, the stiffness of the Appaloosas, the basicness of the Halflingers, and of course, many more that's also happened throughout the history of SSO. My least favorite of the Gen 3 horses that were released this year is the Gen 3 Appaloosas, just solely because of the stiffness and the donkey mule look. It's just a no from me. Even though I do like some of the coats that I'll probably get at some point, just some of them look like they're elderly as fuck. And since SSO doesn't want to face the reality of what horses performed the worst this year and still need to be fixed badly, we're gonna do it for them. Here are the nominees of the worst normal horse breeds released in 2022. The Gen 3 Appaloosa. The Gen 3 Welsh Ponies. Gen 3 Pasafinos. Gen 3 Halflingers. The Gen 3 Shires. The Gen 3 Belgian Warmbloods. Gen 3 Tennessee Walking Horses. And the winner of the worst normal horse breed released in 2022 is... the Gen 3 Welsh Pony. Now this was a surprise for me compared to other breeds that I had an issue with when I went to look at the results of the form, but I can agree on why this little shit did really bad. The Welsh Pony has the unfortunate case of the doll eye-itis, where every time it looks at something or it moves or some other shit, it looks like a Barbie doll 24/7. This horse also had issues due to the model with the anatomy of the big ass heads and how it looked weird as fuck in different angles. And also sometimes it looked like a fucking lizard in different ways. Even though the coat range of this breed is beautiful, it did not save it from getting the worst normal horse breed award this year. In second place was the Gen 3 Appaloosas, the Gen 3 the Halflingers and Belgian Warmbloods ended up tying for 3rd, the Pacifinos in 4th, Tennessee Walking Horses in 5th, and the Gen 3 Shires in 6th. Congratulations, Welsh Pony, for being a very ugly Barbie doll horse. Of horse breeds, something that SSO does in fact excel at is the coat color range. Even though SSO tends to dip into basic coats, putting white markings on shit that don't need it, and shitty looking coats that are still made on certain horses that still in this game, there's still a lot of coats in the game that look stunning. The coats in SSO that are good either excel in the design or purely because of how good the breed is. So here are the nominees for the best and worst coat variation released in SSO after the original breed set was released in 2022. The Gen 3 Palomino Paint English Thoroughbred. The Gen 3 Flea Bitten English Thoroughbred. The Gen 3 Chestnut Arabian. The Gen 3 App Black Connemara. The App Gen 3 Leopard Appaloosa. App Gen 3 Dapple Grey Welsh Pony. The App Gen 3 Liver Chestnut Pacific. The App Gen 3 Halflinger. Look, their coat colors are too similar. It ain't gonna be specific because they won't stop duplicating each other. I just don't know. It could be a dun for all I know. Hell, it might be a different color that I don't even know.
They look the same.
Reverse Dark Dapple Bay Pacific. The Flaxen Chestnut or Light Bay. Look, I don't know what this fucking variant is called. It's the damn Gen 3 Appaloosa variant that made everyone faint on the damn floor. The Gen 3 Bay Paint Icelandic. The Gen 3 Amber Champagne. Yes, I found the fucking coat color finally. Fight me with Google, bitch. Gen 3 Flaxen Red Chestnut Irish Cop. Gen 3 Buckskin American Quarter Horse. The App Gen 3 Black Alkyl Teak. The App Chestnut Shire. Gen 3 Dark Bay Icelandic. And the App Gen 3 Light Dunfjord. And the winner for the best coat variation released in 2022 is the Gen 3 Palomino Paint English Thoroughbred. This horse was a showstopper as it appeared in the first week of the new the Equestrian Festival as the first new purchasable event open house horse of the week. This blew out its other two horse coat workers, the Flea-Bitten English Thoroughbred and the Chestnut Arabian, out of the park, because this horse was everywhere, and I mean everywhere. According to the results, this English Thoroughbred had a percentage of 24.4% with the Gen 3 Flaxen Light Bay, whatever the fuck it is, Appaloosa in second place, and the Gen 3 Flea-Bitten English Thoroughbred and Chestnut Arabian tied for third. If I keep going, we'll be here for an hour. It rightly deserves this award for being the best new coat variation that was released in 2022. And now for the winner of the worst coat variation released in 2022. And the winner is the App Gen 3 Leopard Appaloosa. Thank God. This is not a good coat, SSO. This is a fucking child's painting where someone took some spray paint and sprayed dots on a gray base model in Photoshop and called it a Leopard Appaloosa.
Where's your other side? Oh my God!
I already have you as the worst breed for me this year, but Jesus Christ, this coat is the shittiest out of all of your coats in this breed, bruh. I know Nami made this horse with another person, but I just want to know, were y'all high on this coat color choice, or is it just not a good representation of the in real life version? Cause this ain't it, Chief. Just take your damn award and your spray painted ass out of here too. to an end of our horses section. As we all know, SSO also uses another strat with horses by playing on fucking FOMO with the magical horse breeds. Magical horse breeds in SSO throughout this year went from consistently looking good normal and magical coats to shitty magical and normal coats. For years, people avoided the shitty magical coat horses purely because of the auto magic transformation function, until SSO decided to remove it because apparently they found invisible people that wanted to be removed instead of it having as an option to validate their intrusive thoughts to just remove the damn feature. However, this didn't stop SSO from releasing a lot of shitty magical horses with just shitty magical coats, but good normal coats or both versions are a lost cause.
I don't want to do another one.
You just wanted to leave a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, well, I got bored because my minions ditched me for a place called Applebee's. They said they wanted to see if it was a true apple delicacy.
Applebee's is a bar, grill, restaurant joint. It doesn't even relate to apples either.
Shit. Well, can I still do these categories?
Yeah, take it away before I change my mind.
Here are the nominees for the best and worst magical horse breed in 2022. Berkir, Hanami, Sedna, Proteus, Amara, Tithia, Nemain, Laverna, Captur, Sylvian Unicorn. The winner for the best magical horse breed release in 2022 is Laverna. This horse became a sensation after getting shat on for its prototype work in progress form until it went from this regular paint into a fucking beautiful badass mask with horns. This horse has set the standards high, along with its co-worker Nemain, and striving to have good-ass magical horses for the years to come. This horse, in the results, had an overwhelming majority of 44.9% of the votes, with Nemain in second, the Sylvian Unicorn in third, Captur in fourth, Berkir and Proteus tied in fifth, Hanami in sixth, Amira and Tithia tied in seventh, and Sedna in eighth. And now, for the winner of the worst magical horse breed released in 2022. And the winner is... Oh, Jesus. It's a fucking tie.
Wait, what? Between who?
I'm getting there. Don't rush me. Congrats to Amira and Hanami for being tied for being the worst damn ugly asses of the magical horses this year. Y'all were so bad, no one could fucking decide between the two of you with how ugly your coats were from both having pink eye syndrome from being high on the Pandorian weed. Hanami out here looking like beef jerky with pink roasted frosting as a wig, and Amira looking like the jungle and Desert Samara fighting for dominance after smoking Pandorian weed. Congratulations, bitches, you're ugly as fuck and we're let down really bad. Now get this award and go to Sephora or something. You need a new hairdo anyway.
Alright, dude, you did your job now. You can go.
Hey, Otto. We found the apples. They also gave us this big licorice.
Oh, somebody! Oh, he needs some milk.
That's Pandorian weed.
Oh, God, I need to get y'all to the hospital before the devil finds out. This is what y'all get for ghosting me, son.
Well, at least he found closure. Anyways, that's really it for the horses portion, since we've practically torn everything apart. But we'll come back to horses for a second in the event section to see what magical horse breed won solely for being able to stick to their event theme. For now, let's move on to the quests.
Alright guys, here we go. So this is how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna stay in the van.
No.
Yep.
I'm playing this. Y'all like fucking making out anymore. Shit.
I'll do this for. I will
rattle hail the corkboard.
Jesus. Yeah, I don't think that's good. Guys, get out.
We're fine. They're still not active yet.
Why did you already like the smudge stick?
Do now, Miss Liv. Miss Liv. Oh god, guys, I can't do that. Okay, no, fuck it. So someone else does it.
Get your ass here.
It's a good. It's an.
Oh, great.
Weren't they fucking shit on?
I'll protect you guys. Don't worry. It's okay. Oh, there she goes.
The main foundation of any MMO or video game relating to a story for content is quests. Quests help bring the story to life and make long-lasting connections to players from childhood to even adulthood. SSO used to have a good foundation of beautifully fun-written quests with a good story. However, as the focus was put more on horses and what makes them money, the story has slowly but surely caked up in dust, and like a lot of things in SSO that doesn't involve people using their money to buy things, it got neglected. So neglected to the point where multiple plot holes began to form, leading to a fucked up story of changed characters, unexplained actions, and more. People in SSO are either invested in the stories and quests of SSO, or you just have your average homeboy or homegirl blasting through the quest just to get the XP and be done with it for the day. The main story is supposed to be the quest line that drags everyone in to play and feel invested, but as SSO keeps making shittier decisions on the story, it's left players feeling frustrated to the point of even quitting the game or losing interest in the story because of how it went from a neatly built house to a worn down, burnt down house. The main story quests this year have gotten better in having more than one release this year. However, that doesn't excuse the issues with the dialogue, the way characters are portrayed, running always from point A to B, fetching shit, and still feeling like an outsider to the characters and not an actual soul rider, let alone a friend. And that's why people, including myself, want the story to get better. For a story shaped around you being the main protagonist, you feel more like a maid instead of feeling like a queen. Quests should make you feel a part of something, and not to feel like you're on the sidelines 24/7 doing nothing but being a mediator.
Sometimes when we're arguing, she'll be like screaming in my face and saying, "I'm not yelling." I don't yell at you. Yeah.
With that being said, here are our nominees for the best and worst main story quest release in 2022. On the Trail for On. One of Our Witches, Fort Maria Part 1. Story Snacks with Mrs. Holdsworth. And Secrets Within Fort Maria. And the winner for the best main story quest released in 2022 is... Secrets Within Fort Maria. This quest blew the rest of the main story quest released in 2022 out of the water with finally some much needed action and plot. Despite the bugs and a mess of remodeled characters, this quest won solely because of getting to work with the Dark Riders, a Kaja boss fight, unlocking more lore in Fort Maria, a proper introduction to the Vala Witch, and the confirmation of knowing we're going to finally go to Devil's Gap. Overall, 65.4% of the voters voted for the Secrets Within Fort Maria quest, with one of our witches coming in second place, on the trail for On in third, and Mrs. Holdsworth's Story Snacks in last place. This was a quest that confirmed there's potential that the story could finally get to somewhere after many cringy, confusing, and frustrating moments in the story quest lately. Let's hope SSO will finally fix their story, and it'll finally be what it used to be, a coherent, cohesive, action-packed story. And now for the winner of the worst main story quest related in 2022. And the winner goes to... Story Snacks with Mrs. Holdsworth. The only real purpose for these short-ass 1 to 2 minute quests were supposed to act as keep you on your toes content, but the thing is, these are honestly irrelevant because every single one didn't even relate to the continuation of Fort Maria whatsoever. The only good thing it did was give backup lore, but even then it's just reading dialogue and nothing more. This rightfully deserves being the shittiest solely because it's short as fuck, and it didn't really bring any meaning to the main story. 53.8% of the voters voted the Story Snacks as the worst quest in the first place. As for the other quests, On the Trail for On was in second place, One of Our Witches in third, and Secrets Within Fort Maria in fourth. Good job for not having any effort as a story quest whatsoever. Ma'am, you need to get off the stage. But this is not a stage, this is Please get off the stage! Thank you. Now we move on to... What the fuck? Okay. Phew. Ladies, gents, and non-binary buds, the granny has been detained. She was unfortunately drunk after drinking her sorrows away on how shitty the story snacks were. Anyways, while the main story is what drags people into the game, side quests are what helps the world in a game come to life. These quests help people get to know the characters more, have other stories outside of the main story created, and invest further into characters that aren't in the spotlight as much. However, because of SSO's negligence with quests, side quests get the short end of the content stick with very poor writing, recycled mechanics, never-ending plots, and confusing plots. The side quests this year were really bad, with only a few such as Herman's Homecoming and the Baroness Racetrack being remodeled being the most memorable to me. The others were so lackluster in time, plot, and lack of actually being fun and exciting. So here are the nominees for the best and worst side quests released in 2022. Marley's Dad's Memorial. Remodeling the Baroness's Racetrack. James and Professor Hayden. Troubled Tourists at Wolf Hall Inn. Loretta's Tantrum. And Herman's Homecoming. And the winner for Best Side Quest Release in 2022 is... Remodeling the Baroness Racetrack. This area being remodeled after 10 years came with a side quest that, albeit is not the best, but the most engaging and fun, with getting the Baroness to finally just depend on people not in your city that actually care about her project for the racetrack, helping with the building process, and deal with Mr. Kimball's tantrums, and be reintroduced to new races. 79.5% of the voters voted for this quest to win, with Herman's Homecoming in 2nd, Marley's Stats Memorial in 3rd, Loretta's Tantrum in 4th, Trouble Taurus in 5th, and James and Professor Han in 6th. This was the only side quest that didn't take a short-ass time, and that it somewhat had a plot and build up to the reveal of how it officially looked, and with that, it deserves this award for a good opening of a new remodeled area while making us feel involved in the process. And now for the why are you still here? Yeah!
I'll take it from here. Are you sure? Oh yeah. The higher up sent me down here. The cleanup work could potentially become a very messy situation. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna get started with the standard procedure.
If you don't let me do the category of this one, I will blast your ass all the way to the next continent. Okay, Jesus, Granny. Not my fault your butt hurt. Next time, go to a psychiatrist for this shit. Jesus. How do you sober up fast? This is abnormal. Ahem. And now for the winner of the worst side quest series. And the winner is... Oh shit, I need to adjust my reading glasses for this one. Loretta's Tantrum. Hallelujah! This bitch lost. Oh, sorry, dearies. Anyways, this side quest was a disgrace to even be called a quest. This was messy. From 1 minute trying to solve Loretta's problem she's having on jealousy, to chasing this bitch to get her to talk about her damn jealousy, to try to get us to sympathize with this bitch because not a lot of people came to her racetrack. How are we supposed to respect this bitch when all she does is have an issue with people over shit like this? Oh, Lord have mercy. On top of that, all we did was do races we were already introduced to for daily races, and then do another race after this bitch calms down. So as someone who hates this no-home treading bitch, she fucking deserves to rot in here! Okay, thanks, lady. Jesus. So to pick up where Psychopath Granny was, this was just a go to talk to this person quest and do races to compensate it, then have it mean that all it was just people praising Loretta, even though literally 3 minutes ago she was a salty, jealous bitch. And all we got out of that was a fucking pink halter, bruh. A pink halter. I wholeheartedly agree with this decision, and it shows in the results, y'all. 34.6% of the voters voted this quest to win this damn award, while in second place it's James and Professor Han coming in close, Troubled Taurus Wolf with help of Han in third, Herman's Memorial in fourth, Marley's Stats Memorial in fifth, and remodeling the Baroness's racetrack in sixth. Congrats, Loretta! You showed everyone you were a teenager having a 5-year-old tantrum and somehow got a quest out of it. You. That's the end to our short quest section, but the mention of quests will come up again in the next section shortly. Events.
Prepare to embark on the adventure of a lifetime. In the lush wilderness that's yours alone to explore.
There's a hole in it, but
Oh my god.
so I'm just gonna long jump everything.
Yeah, go.
He's got the drip.
No, he don't. Eating this. Oh my, what? For this section, I'm gonna have an event NPC just tell you from not only the horse's mouth, but also I've ranted a lot about how the events are done in this game. So with that being said, take it away, Bob.
I better be getting paid for this, so don't pay me for shit. Events are the things that bring a community together to get a break from not just doing the same repetitive mechanics in a game, but also a chance to have fun in new non-canon ways. Events with SSO after the Golden Age have since been a mixed bag, especially since SSO removed events like Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, April Fools, and more. It's either heavily recycled, has little to no effort in it, new shitty stuff, or actual fun things to do. And like any event in SSO, it's another FOMO tactic with having expensive ass shit in the process. Most of the events were so shady to the point of not being able to figure out which one was actually good this year. So here are the nominees for Best and Worst Event SSO of 2022. The Equestrian Festival. Rainbow/Pride Festival. Final Midsummer Festival. Beach Festival. The 11th Birthday Event. Halloween. H&M All-In Collaboration. Black Friday. The first 4 weeks of the Christmas event. And the winner of the best event is... shit, the first 4 weeks of the Christmas event. Multiple events being either okay, lackluster, or just horrible, we finally had a pretty alright event for 2022. This event surprised many with the return of snow, the fun blizzard activities, the Yeti quests, and many more. Despite its recycledness in Northern Light stations and races, it didn't have a purely shitty fate like some other events on this list. Overall, 59% of the voters voted the Christmas event as the best event, with the Equestrian Festival in second, Halloween in third, Rainbow/Pride Festival in fourth, H&M in fifth, Black Friday in sixth, and a three-way tie for last place with the 11th birthday event, the Final Midsummer Festival, and the Beach Festival. So thank you, SSO Christmas, for not turning out the worst in all the events to ever come in this game. Now for the worst events in SSO of 2022. And the winner is... Halloween! This disgrace of a little shit event rightfully deserves being the shittiest event to ever happen this year. This was such a downer compared to previous Halloween events with the shard paywall, the RNG cauldron for the blueberry Bastillion pumpkin, expensive shit, recycled shit, and a lot more that happened with this disgusting event.
What is that? I can't see from here. This is about to be a bloody shoe. An actual bloody shoe. And I have a bag of them for practice. Ow! 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 Oh my head! Start singing Headband of the Day now, bitch! Are you serious? Ouch! Headband of the Day! Headband! Ow!
The only exciting thing that happened this Halloween is certain moments in the event quest and the Tornado Rider XP Exploit Rush.
Girl, that party was so live last night. Girl, watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
The overall result was that 38.5% of the voters picked Halloween and deemed it as the worst event of 2022. In second place, it's tied with the final Midsummer Festival and Black Friday, the Rainbow Pride Festival in third, H&M in fourth, a tie for fifth for the birthday event and beach festival, and the Equestrian Festival and Christmas tied in last. Horrible decisions were made, so much shit was recycled, and that's why this damn event is the worst event this year. Get your sorry asses out of here. You filthy animal. Yeah, I did it. Now I can finally get paid.
Thanks, Bob. Well, someone's gonna be in the hospital. So now let's move on to event quests. The main thing that sparks events further is the event quests, the stories that bring the event further to life. But just like any other quests in SSO, they were still heavily neglected, leaving only a few that I liked, such as the Galper Thompson Part 2 quest and the Yeti quest. So here are the nominees for best and worst event quests in SSO. Sabine's Arrival. Return Color to Cloud Kingdom. Find out what James did at the beach festival. The Galbert Thompson Quest Part 2. And the Yeti Quest. And the winner for the best event quest in SSO in 2022 is... Oh my god, not again. A tie!
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, man, no, man. What the hell? Oh my god, no way, Somebody, he needs some milk.
Between Galbert Thompson Part 2 and Sabine's Arrival. First, let's start with Sabine's Arrival quest. Even though Sabine's Arrival quest wasn't my favorite for obvious reasons, I can see why it still went into contention as tied for the best. Compared to other event quests, at least he did more than running from point A to B, and I think that the Sabine fan service might have also done some shit, and doing some stuff with her might have also hyped up people more with this event quest. Even though I despise Sabine's remodel, I can recognize it's not the worst event quest of this year, and compared to others, it's pretty good. As for Galper Thompson's quest, even though I had issues with mainly the ending choice not affecting jack shit, this was exciting with the storytelling. The cutscenes of making the hammer the Stoneguard Druid Magnus regretted doing after making it was amazing. And not only that, we got to use said big-ass hammer and reenact what Galper Thompson did for the Jarl before he was executed. The build-up to finding out Broderick's the one who cursed Galper in the first place was awesome. And if the choices you made actually made a difference as well as having more than just running from point A to B in the dialogue, this probably could have pulled out for a quest. Both of these quests were tied in first place at 35.9%, while the Yeti quest was in second, Return Color to Cloud Kingdom in third, and Finding Out What James Did in last place. And now for the worst event quest in 2022. And the award goes to... Finding Out What James Did in the Beach Festival. This This was the messiest event quest, in all honesty. It was mainly a dialogue quest of interrogating people to figure out what James did this time around. And then it got really anticlimactic really quick when confronting James after the monkey magician girl spilled the fucking tea and ratted his ass out. Then right after James said shit was fake and managed to make another broken promise to the theater doer ladies, Yitris just fucking appears out of nowhere, and it was all just left with, we're not pissed at James anymore. And then it just left with feeling awkward and just going, what the fuck, after the whole thing was done and over with. Not only that, it doesn't affect anything with the festival. It was just another see what James did scummy this time and throw in some random shit to make it look exciting. It didn't relate much to the event itself, and it was also boring as hell, so with that, it's getting the worst event quest in 2022 award regardless. On to our last two categories of this section. As we all know with magical horses, most of the time they're tied to events SSO has in game. And the ones relating to the events in SSO this year that were new, most had stepped up their game, while others were either just a mess, basic, not really going with the theme of the event, or we end up questioning if they went out the night before making these decisions and then had someone validate their ideas while they were drunk. So here are the nominees for the best and worst SSO event magical horse breed release in 2022. Sedna, Proteus, Nemain, Laverna, Couture, and Sylvian Unicorn. And the winner for the best SSO event magical horse breed release in 2022 is Laverna. This horse, as stated in the Best Magical Horse Award section, this horse is a showstopper.
Anything for you, Beyonce!
Laverna truly captured the essence of Halloween while still being able to feel SSO-like with the Pandorian colors. The badass mask and the skeleton bones come together with the coat to not only make the colors stand out, but also merge pretty well with the braided mane and lavender undertones. The voting percentage of picking Laverna was a whopping 43.6%. Nemain in second, the Sylvian Unicorn in third, Couture in fourth, Proteus in fifth, and Sedna in last place. Congrats, Laverna, with your second award of the night. Now for the worst SSO event magical horse breed release in 2022, and the award goes to Sedna. This fucking horse, along with their co-worker Proteus. SSO honey, what were you doing? What were you on, ma'am?
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Sedna's normal coat is a bright, blinding Palomino Appaloosa with bright, light green eyes that could honestly compete with the brightness of the sun. But if you think that's ugly, look at the damn magical coat with it.
One kiss is all it takes.
Now I know, Sedna and Proteus are based off of a goldfish and lionfish, but SSO, this is not it. This was also from that long list of magical concept arts that was on Instagram, and this was the ones that got selected. I don't know how they selected that one over some other one, but I definitely think they were high enough to think that this horse was fucking amazing. As I stated when reviewing Sedna in my roadmap review series, I have particularly said that Sedna looks like some 5 cheese mac and cheese horse. And then with the side gills like her cat, the gills just look like some stacked circled American yellow cheese that was roasted midway, and call it a fish to relate to the beach event. 43.6% again picked Sedna as the worst event magical horse in 2022, with Proteus and Couture tied for 2nd place, Sylvian Unicorn in 3rd, Nemain in 4th, and Laverna in 5th. This is still one of the ugliest designs SSO has ever done, and it rightfully deserves the worst event horse award. And now we've come to our second to last section, and it's also the last one with awards in it. So let's move on to the areas and SSO historic events.
Alright, let's warm up and trot set, go. Now on the next long wall at B, we're going to start curling. We're going to get off nice and strong. If you don't know what a curl is, it's just a full circle. Curl set, go. And now we're going to do a wave. So now that you have your numbers, odds left, evens right, wave set, go. That was hot. Oh my god. Yes.
This section will be solely looking at how new or remodeled areas are treated and what historic events in SSO have happened this year. First, the areas part of this section. Areas are the setting out of a game that help immerse and teleport you into the world of a game. The sky, the grass, the sounds, the environment, and more. And it helps bring the whole game's world to life. Most of SSO's areas are gorgeous and they bring in the right mood to the area. However, ever since SSO's been doing remodels of areas, just like horses, they're hit or miss.
This is how I press it.
Some areas like Steve's Farm, Silverglade Village, and the Riding Hall were horrible due to either the nostalgia being erased, changing fucking layouts when nobody asked to in the first place, odd color choices, crowded as fuck, fucking up shit people use heavily in the game like those sand lines for dressage, standing out in the environment instead of settling into it, and more. 2022 remodels have thankfully not reached to that degree, and a lot of them are beautiful. Like remodels, there's also new location-based areas and buildings or an environment such as Fort Maria, and the Iceberg for the Yeti Quest. So here are the nominees for best and worst remodeled or new area released in 2022. Marley's Farm, Baroness's Racetrack, South Hood Ferry Docks, Fort Maria, and Arctic Fox Iceberg Island. And the best remodeled or new area released in 2022 goes to the new remodeled Baroness's Racetrack. As yesterday when this got the Best Side Quest of 2022 award, this area is gorgeous. Since it was worn down before, the area for players who've played for years didn't have no expectations on what its remodel could look like. So nobody expected that it should retain anything because a lot of us expected a beautiful remodeled racetrack. And boy did SSO deliver on this shit. This area has so many details, from the stands, the fountains, the way the shops look, the little stables area, the racetrack itself, the jumps, and more when it comes to this area. 59% of the voters picked the Baroness racetrack to win, with Fort Maria in second, Marley's Farm and South Hoof Ferry Docks tied for third, and the Arctic Fox Iceberg Island in fourth. It's breathtaking, and it rightfully deserves the spot for best remodeled or new area released in 2022. And now for the worst remodeled or new area, and it is the South Hoof Ferry Dock. This area, to be honest, it got the short end of the stick on the remodels because this is a fucking ferry dock and this shouldn't be hard to mess up. The issues with the ferry docks and why I think this got picked as the worst one, and I honestly agree with this, is that there's just a bunch of random shit on it, from the decor to the random boat related shit. It just looks really cluttered. Is it an ugly area? No. But is it a messy looking area? Yes. I feel like if they had just updated the textures and only added a few items and not a shit ton, this area wouldn't have turned out. It looked like Amazon just left a bunch of shit at your doorstep and you didn't pick it up yet. Just barely, this area got the award 46.2%, with the Arctic Fox Iceberg Island in second at 42.3%, meaning this event area was close to being deemed the worst new area or remodel released in 2022 by a sheer difference of 3.9. In third place, it's Marley's Farm, the Baroness racetrack is in fourth place, and last place is Fort Maria. Thanks South Hoof Ferry Dock for being another area with unnecessary items like a lot of other shitty areas in this game. We're now on to our last category of the show, SSO historic events. SSO doesn't just stop at issues in game. It has a lot of issues outside of the game. As we all know, SSO's main overall issues is lack of communication with the community, money hungriness, shitty customer service, toxic positivity, white knights, and boy do I mean a lot of white knights, not acknowledging players who aren't girls, tech debt, a shit ton of bugs, a flawed ambassador program, poorly designed horses, and neglect of content. The discovery of these issues led to a lot of people, including myself, speak up on the issues with this game in hopes that one day it'll be fixed and get the love it deserves properly. We had a lot of upwards happen this year, with most of them that's been selected in the last award category. There was some I did forget about, and this was after the form was done and it's done over with, but for the most part, I got most of them. So with that being said, here are the nominees for most impactful SSO historic social event that shook the community in 2022. The character beta alpha test. The Gen 2 Pentavian nerf. The Horse Girl campaign. The Game Guard fiasco. The Overjoyed and Starcoins icon remodel. The Bugfest of the Beach Festival. The Soul Shard paywall fiasco with the Rider XP Rush exploit. The Patrick Fredrickson picture fiasco. Recycled Rainbow / Pride Festival Week 2. The Snobble fake out pet. The mobile control issues. the artist's vision excuse. The SSO price inflation fiasco. Hashtag SSO Save the Movies movement. The Blueberry Pistillion Pumpkin RNG Cauldron fiasco. And the Ambassador series. And the winner for the most impactful SSO historic event is the Character Beta Alpha Test. This event was not only the most impactful, but the most traumatizing for the community.
Oh, hell no.
To sum up this event, back in September, SSO did a beta test for the updated characters, but the issues is SSO has selected a small sample size of 150 people, with their ambassadors and employees that weren't a part of the sample size was also a part of the beta testers for this. But still, it generated a convenience bias. Most of the people selected were from Europe or the US, and very few were from other countries, leading to not being able to get a general opinion for this. The worst part is, there was also people selected that were known for giving very sugar-coated responses, and only a few testers that were more public or known were honest, making a lot of people's worries, and including mine, worse. A lot of us started to get very scared because of how it was looking. It was rushed, and then on top of that, the sneak peek pictures building up to the beta test before it actually started worried us a lot. I highly recommend for a more in-depth analysis on this event is going to my September the month video, because this section was so deep it took up the majority of that video.
Wait. Who wanna play Simon Says? This is no time for Simon Says. Mars, I bet you can't play. Who can't? You. Simon Says move a little to your left. And I did. Now what Simon says? Mars, look out! Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace.
Once the beta test started, testers were allowed to showcase them on social media, and as soon as pictures and videos started rolling in, the biggest uproar in the SSO community started.
Hey, for real, what you doing? I'm about to hit the dagger. Hey, you better not.
So many people were upset at the lack of diversity in both directions of skin, body types, the face types looking like the same. The toddler look was very prominent in a lot of the characters shown. The way a lot of the hairstyles looked really just like carved wigs on the head. The way the clothes looked, the lack of gender options, the idle animation choices, the body proportions, and many more issues that left a lot of people even more terrified on the state of the characters. Since SSO also has a track record of asking for feedback and not using any of it, people were more afraid that no feedback would be taken into account. People that didn't get to physically be a tester were more honest than most of the damn actual testers, and it shows. After this went on for the duration of 2 weeks, it left a lot of people hoping the feedback testers sent will be taken into account. Later on in the late November blog, SSO stated they're gonna fix shit, but in the same breath, said that they aimed for the average body type of a girl. Once again, further showing how much they ignore people that are male, non-binary, and other genders that are not female, and act like they never existed in the game in the first place. People are still asking for male and non-binary characters, and for more info on how SSO can have both female, male, and non-binary characters, check out my first episode of my docuseries in part 7, where I talked about the lack of gender diversity and inclusiveness. SSO also fully admitted the test was more of an alpha and not a beta, which thankfully means they'll hopefully work on it more. They also mentioned they'll do another test, but people, including myself, want SSO to have a bigger sample size this time around. Even though a small sample size is easy to control, it's not going to be able to capture the general opinion of millions of players that play this game on the characters. The character beta alpha test won with the 43.6% of the voters picking this answer as the most impactful SSO historic social event that shook the community in 2022, with the SSO price inflation and the Game Guard fiasco tied for second, the Ambassador series in third, the Overjoyed Star Coins icon remodel in fourth, the Horse Girl campaign in fifth, the Shoal Shard paywall fiasco with the Rider XP Rush exploit in sixth, and the Artist Vision and the Gen 2 Pentavian nerf in last place. This whole fiasco has further showed that when the characters actually come, it'll determine how many people's trusts are broken, and maybe to the point where massive amount of players leave for the hills if this update is fucked up when it comes to the game. And that's why this event won the award for being the most impactful SSO historic event in 2022. Well, we've finally finished all of our awards, so now we'll be entering our final section to get our overall thoughts on SSO, and that is called the reflection section. If you want to continue supporting me further for my videos, check out my Ko-Fi and buy me a coffee. I recently started back in December and I really appreciate the support since a lot of work goes into these videos. More content is coming soon on there for my supporters, so please check it out for more stuff to come in 2023. Check out in the description below or in the pinned comment to reach my Ko-Fi page. Now let's get back to the awards. As I've now played this game for 10 years, this game is still crumbling further each day. SSO has only really excelled in some really good horse breeds like the Gen 3 Shires, the Gen 3 Tennessee Walking Horses, and very few content such as like the Blizzards, the Fort Maria quests, and more. The overall rating I gave this game for 2021 in my docuseries last year was a 3 out of 10, and that rating was for this year. It's still a 3 out of 10. This year was a more intense version of 2021, but more based around the game and the community. I do believe SSO is trying here and there, but most of their attempts have missed, from the Hermera and Antithea's failure of a magical horse design, to how they put Game Guard in against our own will, to the shitty character alpha test, to the horrors of the shitty Halloween event, and more that's further showed the decisions SSO has been making are heavily flawed. They are more and more showing they're money hungry, from how expensive the clothes are to the whopping 92 horses released into this game this year. Did they release more quests this year? Yes, they did, but were they written well? Did they have fun mechanics? Were they all not a pain in the ass? No. The quests are still neglected, and there was only a few I've really enjoyed this year. I love SSO, I really do. I've grown up with this game. But I need to be honest that their performance this year is slowly crumbling with every shitty decision they make. They need to realize how they treat everyone in and outside of their target audience. Because if they don't, they're gonna wake up one day with a broken game and many players with their trust broken, leaving at every second. So in this voting survey, I didn't just ask what stuff was the best and worst of in 2022. I asked you about your thoughts on how this game did this year in different questions. So the first one I asked, what's the thing that SSO improved in the most this year? Now, since there's a shit ton of responses, I'll mainly have the pictures up here, and they're all anonymous. But if I read every single one, we're gonna be here all day. So the overall thoughts was that they've either improved in horses, the demand of quests getting answered more, and some of the communication with the roadmaps. However, a lot of people have stated that SSO hasn't really improved at all. They just haven't really improved at all this year, which I can agree with both statements. The only time SSO communicates with us is if there's a big enough uproar to where you start seeing SSO go haywire in the comments and actually with copy-pasted responses, or they finally change something. But most of the time, it's led to SSO not fully following through on what they said. SSO only really followed through with completely removing Game Guard and getting the first-person camera for the movie community. From the Game Guard situation, it resulted with some players with damaged computers as result for using GameGuard as a cheap anti-cheat that supposedly fits with Culpa. And even then, GameGuard wasn't fully removed in some places, so you have to manually remove it in your desktop. SSO really only improved in the way horses were done based on the responses, because if you look at the Shires, the Tennessee walking courses, even some of the features of the passive females, halflingers, and Belgian warmbloods, SSO stepped up on how the animations of sun looked and how the coats were done. Most of the coats weren't looking like they were copied on shading wise and were done beautifully. Even the magic horses, some of them were gorgeous, like Nemain and Laverna. There's still a consistency issue in quality with horses, but there were definitely some improvements made in how horses were done. Next, I asked what's the thing that SSO has not improved on 2022? Oh boy. Overall, people said communication, listening to the community, events, monetization, which should still being expensive as fuck, the quests, the customer service, the equality and acknowledgement for players of different genders, not being able to take feedback well, the disgusting characters from the alpha, bugs, even for a lot of people, everything in this game. We've had rushed, poorly written quests. People that aren't girls still treated like shit in this game just for wanting to be acknowledged as more than just a statistic. So many in-game and out-of-game items being expensive. Issues on communication on stuff that happened. The quality of the customer service still being shit. The constant recycling of events, including the sum of the rewards themselves. Not actively listening to players. Still having white knights shit on people for speaking up about something wrong with the game. And many more issues again and again being shown in this game and outside of the game. And that's sad. SSO, you can't keep pretending you did well this year. Literally in the December vlog, you acted like that you just had the best year you ever did in the game, when you didn't. You literally did this with the Halloween event where you plugged your ears and claimed that the Halloween event was perfect when it was a disaster. You still have bugs from last year appearing again in events. And really old ass bugs from older years. As so this is only showing you've only improved in very little things with this game. This just shows further more work needs to be done. I then asked people, how could SSO actually improve? And the overall thoughts were actually listening to the players and feedback. More diversity in both directions of body types, genders, etc. for the new characters. Have actual disciplines like actual dressage. Have actual shows of different disciplines. No more broken promises. Ask players before putting shit into the game that's new, before removing shit. Acknowledge all genders. Less focus on monetary gain and horses. Lower the prices of stuff. Having more stuff to do than just training horses as endgame. Not rushing shit and so much more. A lot of y'all also gave a lot of good paragraphs on detailing what needs to be fixed as well, so before I continue, I'll be leaving these up here for a bit more before we move on to the next question, since generally a lot of the ideas and needs suggested needed to be heard, and these things can improve the game so much if SSO would just listen and follow through. The more SSO continues to move on and act like stuff doesn't happen, the more players will not trust a thing SSO will say. Next, 2 questions relating to y'all as players. I first asked if y'all still play this game, and the main answer that more than half of the responses had picked that I only play when there's something to do in the game. Damn. Some people have said they play daily, sometimes once a month, or even quit, but this just shows how lackluster SSO has become. I, like probably most of y'all watching this video, was someone that used to play this game daily. When I started playing as a 10-year-old kid, every time I came home from school, I would log on and play the game and continue the quests and try to level up on my starter back when you only had your starter ride. There was also times with my SSO friends I'm still friends with today, would also be on, we do stuff in our club, roleplay that came out shitty, did champs a lot, and just doing stuff in the game that was fun at the time. However, as SSO slowly started to care less about the content of the game, me and others were on less. Training started to feel like a chore. Clothes were hard to get with in-game currency nowadays. Events were recycled, and the game server-wise was starting to look empty. It only really filled up when there was a quest, an event, or really good content updates. Nowadays, people only log on to train their horses if they feel like it, buy horses, do their photo shoots for their roleplay, get a picture for their next art piece, go to another club meeting, or film videos. Now that I'm 20 years old, and then once May hits, I'll be 21, go figure, I still play this game because of the friends that I still have in there and also the story. I loved the story as a kid, and I wanted to see it finish. However, the way the main story has been written lately has been a mixed bag or just outright shitty. I only really get to see my in-game friends in my club when there's an event, but outside of that, not that much anymore. The game's gotten shittier, and it needs to be set. If it doesn't, it'll never break out of this crumbling plague era. The other question I asked was, what would you rate this game on a scale of 1 to 10? And on this one, I couldn't figure out how to do the number questions, y'all, so it's in multiple choice answers, but basically, most people would give it a 6 out of 10 with other numbers being a 3, 4, 5, or 7 out of 10. And a few gave it a 1, 8, or 9 out of 10. SSO, if you think your ass has been solid, please look at the numbers, dude. Got a lot to do, man. Next 2 questions relate to horses, and I asked what Gen 1 or Gen 2 breeds do you want updated? Because SSO has a tendency to just get a lot of new breeds, but now rarely update Gen 2 breeds. And we have the Gen 2 Mustangs in first place, the Gen 2 Lip Singers in second, the Gen 2 Morgan in third, the Gen 2 Hanoverian and Gen 1 Sel Francis tied in fourth, the Gen 1 Oldenburg and Dutch Warmbloods tied for fifth, the Gen 1 Danish Warmblood and Gen 2 Pentavians tied for sixth, and the Gen 1 Morab in last place. I'm not surprised, to be honest, since the Mustangs have been requested for a long ass time, and it's been like that ever since Gen 3 started. Obviously, every breed on here needs to get updated, and SSO really needs to remember the older breeds that are still not updated, otherwise we're gonna have it buried by a lot of new breeds. Now for the other question I asked was, what new breed do you want SSO to add in the game that's not in the game? Before getting to the breeds, some of y'all did state you want the older breeds updated first, or y'all didn't want any new horses, or you weren't sure, which is all valid, so no worries on this. This part is just for fun, since SSO tends to pick breeds that people don't really ask for, or no one's ever asked for. But it is also important to remember we need a fucking horse break, y'all. Anyways, the following breeds y'all asked for was the Called Rubber, the Black Forest Horse, Better Damn Regions.
He's out, he was looking, look.
Whoever many of y'all said this, amen, we need just rideable Frisians that are actually not crackheads, bruh. Rideable mules or donkeys, Irish draft, miniature horses, Shetland ponies, saddlebreds, Krillos, Estonian Tory horse, Highland pony, Rocky Mountain horses, Welsh cobs, Gypsy vanners, Aztecas, Missouri foxtrotters, Hokkaidos, Australian riding ponies, Sulfic punches, Poney Francaise d'Elsay, Falabellas, Pries, Holsteiners, Morkers, Irish sport horses, Budionis, Belgian draft horses, Konigs, Sorias, Przewalskis, however you pronounce his name, I'm so sorry, Norwegian dole horses, Adrenases, Canadian horses, Turkomans, Welkopolskis, Silla Argentinos, Hackney horses, German riding ponies, and Yaltakas. I don't know how to pronounce this, I'm sorry. For curiosity's sake, by far, the most requested new breed was the Called Rubbers. And I don't blame y'all for saying Called Rubbers, because your girl wants them too ever since Red Dead Redemption 2, bruh. Next question. What do you want SSO to actually do content-wise going forward? Overall answers were more quests, fix the storyline, especially to get it back to the way it was before with the older SSO lore, more engaging activities that are actually genuinely fun, more ways to play with friends, mini games, have challenging things for horse bonding, listen to the community and the feedback, dressage shows, show jumping, less daily trail ride, actually do promise updates that you promise in blogs, better racing rewards, better racing system, more diverse races, making sure times aren't affected by speed bug cheaters, outside activities with a better system besides training, new event activities, close and tack that are still heavily requested like ear bonnets, blankets, martingales, etc. More content in forgotten areas like Dino Valley and Epona, update old NPCs, breeding, better pets, equal engagement opportunities for players of all genders like male characters, clothing options that aren't feminine, etc. Less cringy filler dialogue. Thank you to whoever said this. There was so much fucking cringy dialogue in a lot of the quests this year, thank God. It needs to be said, the quest dialogue has been shit, bruh.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Have our choices actually impact the story. Content for higher level players that's not reputation or running from point A to B that's permanent. Stop removing shit we love. Start fixing bugs more. Do more with the 4 different Soul Rider circles that we used to do back in the day. And better mechanics with training and gameplay. So, like the question on how SSO can improve, there's a lot of good paragraphs in here, so I'm gonna leave this up before going on to the next question. But overall, we want actual permanent content that's fun, not stuff to check off the long amount of playtime box. It needs to be for once actually be fun to where we can actually go and say, this shit was actually fun and we actually want to do it again. And for the final question for this, I asked how long have y'all played this game for? As I said a couple of times on here, I've played this game now for 10 years, so I've played this since 2012. As for people that answered, most of them started playing 2013 to the end of 2014, 2019 to the end of 2021 in second, since the beginning, end of 2012, in 2017 and end of 2018 tied for third place, 2015 end of 2016 in fourth, and 2021 end of 2022 in fifth place. And thank God no one answered this whole form as just started playing, because they would be struggling right now. So the majority of the people in this have experienced the Golden Age, which was from 2011 to 2017, and a mixture of people from the Tyranny Age, which is 2018 to 2019. And there's also some people that were a part of the Solus Age, which was from 2020 to a little over midway of 2022 before the Crumbling Plague started. The reason I asked this was to see how long have y'all experienced this game. And I think regardless of if you're an older player or newer player, both can see the issues of this game and see that this game needs to improve and change for the better. The more people decide to ignore these issues and think this game is fine, the more this game is going to crumble. SSO needs to start waking up, because otherwise they're not going to make it another 10 years or 20 if they keep ignoring the main issues of this game. Well, with that being said, y'all, we've reached the end of the 2022 end of the year review and awards. I would like to thank all of you for supporting this idea, my roadmap review series, and my channel, because this was a lot of fun to make. And since this is coming out a bit after New Year's Eve, I hope y'all enjoyed this and that the wait was worth it. The purpose of this was to hopefully make a bigger impact in this community and get people to see the issues that this game has are still there, and that there's still people who have love for this game because they want it to get better. I want to thank y'all again for such an amazing year with this channel ever since my docuseries, and I'm grateful that I have all of you with me today to create more memories with y'all. So, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!